One day, I decide to take a big step. I want to speak English for 5 minutes without stopping. The thought makes me nervous. My heart beats faster, and my hands feel a little shaky. I sit on my bed and look around my room. It is quiet. Everything is still. My books, my notebook, my chair, they all seem to be waiting for me. I take a deep breath and tell myself, I can do this. I will try. My first step is simple. I will start speaking, even if it is only a few words. I begin slowly. Today, I woke up early. My voice is soft and I feel shy. I pause and repeat the sentence. Then I continue, talking about my morning. I ate breakfast. I drank water. I brushed my teeth. My sentences are short, simple, but I keep going. Sometimes I forget a word. Sometimes I make mistakes in grammar, but I do not stop. I correct myself gently and continue. I repeat sentences several times, trying to hear the words clearly. After 1 minute, I feel a little more confident. I look around my room and describe what I see. This is my table. There is a book on the table. The chair is next to the desk. I continue speaking, even though my sentences feel slow. I smile at myself in the mirror. Some words sound funny and some sentences are not perfect, but I do not feel embarrassed. I understand that mistakes are part of learning. Every small mistake teaches me something new. I practice pronunciation, I practice grammar, and I practice courage. By the second minute, I start forming slightly longer sentences. I like my room. I have a notebook. I write words in it every day. I want to speak English well. I notice that words are coming to my mind faster. My voice is stronger than before. I feel proud of myself. I realize that speaking alone at home is not easy, but it is possible. I feel brave. I feel alive. I continue talking, adding more sentences about my surroundings, my feelings, and my thoughts. At the third minute, I begin to tell a small story about yesterday. Yesterday, I learned new words. I practiced them several times. I spoke English for a long time. I made mistakes, but I learned from them. I am improving every day. I speak slowly, but I do not stop. My thoughts start to flow more naturally in English. I can imagine talking to someone, and I try to answer in English in my mind. Each sentence feels like a victory because I am speaking, thinking, and learning at the same time. By the fourth minute, I start talking about my emotions. Sometimes I feel afraid. Sometimes I feel shy. But I want to learn. I want to improve. I will keep trying. I repeat the sentence several times. I notice my confidence growing. I feel stronger. Even though 5 minutes is a short time, it feels like a big step. I stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and smile. I feel happy, but I know that I can do more tomorrow. I can continue practicing longer and better, and every day I will get closer to my goal. The next morning, I wake up early with a new feeling inside me. It is not fear this time, it is a small courage. I sit on my bed and look around my room. Everything is quiet. For a moment, I don't know what to do. Then I remember my goal. I want to speak English. I take a deep breath and stand up slowly. My heart is beating a little fast, but I tell myself, it's okay, just try. I look at my bed and say, this is my bed. My voice is very soft, almost like a whisper. I feel a little shy, even though I am alone. Then I point at my chair and say, this is my chair. I repeat the sentence again, this time a little louder. It still doesn't sound perfect, but I can hear my own voice clearly now. That makes me feel a little better.
I start walking around the room and name everything I see. This is a table. This is a book. This is a window. This is a door. I repeat each word 2 or 3 times. Sometimes I stop because I am not sure about the pronunciation. I try again and again until it feels right. I don't use my native language. I only use simple English words that I know. After a few minutes, I try to make small sentences. This is my room. My room is small. I like my room. I speak slowly and think carefully before each sentence. It takes time, but I don't rush. I want to understand every word I say. I want to feel it. Sometimes I make mistakes and I notice them. For example, I say, "This is my book," and then I stop. I think for a second and correct myself. "This is my book." I smile a little because I learned something. These small corrections give me confidence. Then I try something new. I stand in front of the mirror and look at myself. It feels strange at first. I feel a little nervous, like someone is watching me, but it is just me. I smile and say, "Hello." "How are you?" I answer myself, "I am fine." It feels funny and I laugh softly, but I continue. I repeat this practice again and again. My voice becomes a little stronger. My sentences become a little clearer. I am still slow and I still make mistakes, but I am not stopping. Every minute feels important to me. Time passes, but I don't notice it. I am focused on my practice. I am learning, even in this small room, even without a teacher. And somewhere inside me, I can feel a small change beginning.
Day by day, I start to see small changes in myself. At the beginning, everything feels difficult, but now it feels a little easier. I wake up every morning with the same goal, to learn English. I take my notebook and read the words I wrote yesterday. Some words are still hard, but many of them feel familiar now. This makes me happy. I begin to learn new words every day. I don't try to learn too many words at once. I choose 5 or 10 simple words and focus on them. I write them in my notebook and read them again and again. Then I try to use these words in sentences. For example, if I learn the word happy, I say, "I am happy today." If I learn the word learn, I say, "I want to learn English." In this way, I don't just remember words, I use them. I also start watching English videos. At first, I understand very little. The people speak fast, and I feel confused, but I don't stop. I listen carefully. I turn on subtitles and read the words while listening. Sometimes I pause the video and repeat the sentences. I try to copy the way they speak. My pronunciation is not perfect, but I can feel improvement. Every day, I practice speaking out loud. I don't keep the words in my mind, I say them. I talk about my day, my routine, and my thoughts. Sometimes I don't know the right words, so I use simple ones. I try to explain things in an easy way. This helps me think in English, even if my sentences are not perfect. There are days when I feel tired and don't want to study. On those days, my mind says, "Take a break, you can do it tomorrow." But I remember my dream. I remember why I started. So even if I don't feel motivated, I do a little practice. Maybe just 10 minutes, maybe just reading a few sentences, but I don't stop completely. Slowly, I begin to understand more English around me. When I hear simple sentences, I can catch the meaning. When I read short paragraphs, I don't feel lost anymore. This gives me confidence. It shows me that my effort is working. Sometimes I go back and read my old notes. I see my mistakes and I see my progress. Before, I could not make even simple sentences. Now I can say many things in English. It is not perfect, but it is real progress. This journey is not fast and it is not easy, but it is moving forward. Every small step matters. Every new word is important. And with each passing day, I feel myself getting closer to my goal. even though I know there is still a long way to go.
One day, I decide to challenge myself more than ever before. I want to speak English for 5 minutes without stopping. At first, the idea scares me. My heart beats faster and I feel nervous. I sit on my bed and look around my room. Everything is quiet. No one is here, and that is both comforting and strange. I think to myself, can I really do this? Can I speak for 5 minutes? I feel a little scared, but I also feel excited. I remember my promise to myself. I will not give up. I take a deep breath and start slowly. Today, I woke up early, I say quietly at first. My voice shakes and I feel shy. I continue speaking, talking about my morning, my breakfast, and my room. Some words are difficult, and I stop to think. I try to remember the words I learned yesterday. Sometimes I forget and I make mistakes, but I do not get upset. I correct myself gently and keep going. I say simple sentences, repeating them several times. This is my table. This is my chair. I have a book. I like my book. Slowly, my words start to sound clearer. After 1 minute, I feel a little more comfortable. I look around my room and describe everything I see. This is my window. The sun is shining. The floor is clean. I continue speaking even when it feels strange. I smile at myself in the mirror. Sometimes I laugh at the sentences I make. Some sentences sound funny, but I do not stop. I understand that mistakes are part of learning. Every mistake teaches me something new. I learn pronunciation, I learn grammar, and I learn courage. After 2 minutes, my voice becomes stronger. I try to make longer sentences now. I like mornings. I wake up early. I eat breakfast. I drink water. I feel happy today. Even though I pause sometimes to think, I do not stop speaking. Each sentence feels like a small victory. I feel proud that I am trying something that seemed impossible before. I remember that learning English alone is not easy, but it is possible. My heart feels lighter because I am doing something for myself. By the 3rd minute, I begin to speak more freely. I start telling a small story about yesterday. Yesterday, I wrote in my notebook. I learned new words. I repeated them many times. I practiced speaking for a long time. I notice that words are coming to my mind faster than before. I do not need to think too much. I just speak. I realize that this practice is helping me think in English. I am starting to feel a little more confident and brave. After 4 minutes, I talk about my feelings. Sometimes I feel afraid. Sometimes I feel nervous, but I want to learn. I want to speak English. I will not give up. I repeat this sentence several times. My voice grows stronger. I feel proud of my courage. I notice that time is passing quickly. Even though 5 minutes is not a long time, it feels like a big achievement. I stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and smile at myself. I feel happy, but I know I can do more. I can continue tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after. Each time I will speak longer and better. My journey is still beginning. Today, I look back and smile. I remember the first day I tried to speak English alone. I remember the fear, the hesitation, and the long silence. I remember feeling nervous every time I opened my notebook. But now, everything feels different. I can speak with confidence, and I can understand more than I could before. I realize that all the small steps I took, writing a few words, speaking simple sentences, practicing every day, have brought me here. I sit in my room and talk to myself in English. I am proud of myself. I have learned a lot. I will continue to learn more. I notice that my pronunciation is better. My sentences are longer. My vocabulary is bigger. I can explain my thoughts and describe my day. Sometimes I even imagine talking to a friend in English. I can understand and answer questions in my mind. This gives me joy because I know that all my hard work has started to pay off. I also realized that I did not need a classroom or a teacher to reach this point. I only needed courage, patience, and determination. Every day I made small efforts, and every small effort added up. Learning English alone at home was not easy. There were days when I felt tired, confused, or frustrated. Sometimes I wanted to give up, but I did not. I reminded myself of my dream and kept going. That persistence made all the difference. Now I can speak for longer periods. I can describe my surroundings, my thoughts, and my dreams. I can ask questions and answer them in English. Even when I make mistakes, I am not afraid. I know that mistakes are part of learning. I have learned to embrace them and use them to improve. I feel free when I speak English because I am expressing myself in a language that I have worked so hard to learn. Looking at my notebook, I see pages full of words, sentences, and small stories. I see my progress written in every line. I feel proud, not because I am perfect, but because I tried and I did not give up. My journey started in a quiet room with only a notebook and a dream. Today, it continues with confidence, courage, and hope. I smile and whisper to myself, day by day, word by word, I became fluent, and this is only the beginning of everything I can achieve. I close my notebook and look around my room one last time. Everything is the same, yet I am not the same person. I started alone, I practiced alone, and I learned alone. And now I have a voice. I can speak, I can express, and I can dream bigger. Learning English was not easy, but it was possible. And today I know if I can do it, anyone can do it, with courage and patience. My journey has an ending for this chapter, but my learning will continue forever.